Mel Brooks once said, and Mel Brooks is, yes, the legendary filmmaker, comedian, and great American Jewish sage, if you're quiet, you're not living. You've got to be noisy and colorful and lively. And I'm kidding that Mel Brooks is a great sage, but it's true that his art taps into that lively, vibrant spirit of being. And it's one that we all work to cultivate more of on the Central Coast, and certainly it's the spirit we put into the JCC Federation. And many of you might be wondering, just what is the JCC Federation? So to be clear, it's the Jewish Community Center Federation of SLO County. Wikipedia defines the Federation movement as the secular, primary Jewish nonprofit organization found in most metropolitan areas whose broad purpose is to provide human services. Federations make a difference in communities, nationwide and even internationally. And here in downtown San Luis Obispo, we're proud to host a presence in our downtown's gateway on Marsh Street and serve as we do as cultural ambassadors and even as a hub for Marcia's laugh classes. Before I get to some of the organizational growth, I just want to share with you a little bit of my personal background. 8 years ago, my husband and I moved to the Central Coast by way of the Midwest. I grew up with a great education and a solid understanding of who I am. Where I grew up was a safe and easy place for me to learn about being Jewish, practice Judaism, learn its history and its legacy. I've always seemed pulled toward this Jewish saying, L'dor v'dor, from generation to generation. So it's our responsibility to be part of values, stories, and traditions that have survived so long. I remember sitting next to my mother one Jewish New Year, and after I chanted some of the prayers, her turning to me and just so authentically saying, "Your papa would be so proud." It was this moment where I just felt my words, my connections, my presence connected me to her father, and to ancestors I've never even met. It was, I guess, my own personal Fiddler on the Roof moment, where Tavia belts out tradition. So fast forward now to the Central Coast. That story explains my personal passion behind leading the community organization I do. But it's just a part of it. I know living here is a relatively safe and easy spot, and a great spot for my children to grow up in too. But I also know that like ever before, there is an unmet and possibly endless need, as articulated before on this stage this morning, to build bridges, understand one another, and connect as community. That's the drive and success behind what we do with the JCC Federation. And it's part of why, in just this past year, we've grown 200% across the board. We've grown from a 200-member organization to over 700 members. We've doubled in donors, doubled in donations. In this time, we've been nationally recognized as the fastest growing JCC Federation in the country. Woohoo! Yeah, thank you. But it wasn't easy. It was a 6-month process, and we had to figure out how to mitigate our risks. We had to figure out how to do away with membership dues, a potentially big challenge for a traditional organization and nonprofit. But this opened us up to be in a position to listen more and be more responsive to the needs of the people we serve, a universal truth for any organization. We certainly didn't reinvent the wheel, but we did reposition ourselves to respond as a community from the bottom up. So it's our members, then, that put their value on us as a federation that serves its community and reaches beyond different religions and backgrounds. Our work is meant to result in knowing ourselves better and one another better as neighbors. We strive to be community builders, and this is what the community sees. They see it when hundreds gather outside the mission to light that first candle for Hanukkah with us, which, by the way, is on Christmas Eve this year. They see it at the Palm Theater for the SLO Jewish Film Festival when we screen films that educate on different perspectives and narratives. And they see it on our grounds when we host our camps for a more diverse group of children than people might think. They see it as we reach out to civic leaders, religious leaders, and to many families of different backgrounds and needs. It's how we stay true to our mission as a community center and unite more people together. And it's these magical community moments that are our metrics for success. So I'll end with a quote from Albert Einstein, who once said, a person starts to live when he can live outside himself. Let's take that advice to the max. Let's build more cross-cultural platforms. Let's learn more about each other's rich histories and traditions. Let's find more ways to talk among us. On the table are membership cards. I hope you'll fill one out. Become a part of our efforts to join forces, and I invite you to be a part of contributing to the fabric of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.